The scene opens in a bustling junior high classroom where students are chattering and shuffling their books. Cheyenne, Joel, and Zip are gathered at the back of the room, surrounded by stacks of books, the Bible included, as they prepare for their lesson. Mr. Anderson, their teacher, walks to the front of the class with a smile.
Good morning to all of you. I hope your spring break was wonderful. Today, the Remember Our Roots mystery team is teaching us a very unique lesson about friendship. They have been examining the idea of friendship via the prism of the Bible, and today we will discover what God says a friend is. So, by a show of hands, how many of us have friends?
Intrigued by the announcement, the class settles down, ready to listen. Shy Anna approaches the front of the class to begin the presentation.
Thanks, Mr. Anderson. Friendship is a topic close to all our hearts, and we know the Bible offers valuable insights into what it truly means to be a friend, whether young or old.
Absolutely. We've been digging into numerous scriptures, analyzing them and discussing their meaning.
It's eye-opening. The Bible is wisdom. We choose friends based on interest, but that's not enough. You must look deeper to determine if they have the qualities and skills to be a friend. Just as laughter is contagious, the same is true of foolery. If you hang out with fools, you become one. There's an old saying, birds of a feather flock together, reminding us friends reflect who we are.
Let's start with understanding the essential qualities of a good friend. With this in mind, we explore 20 qualities that make a friend, identifying what a good friend possesses and warning signs of bad friends. Like babies, we also need milk to establish a solid friendship through faith, honesty, trustworthiness, loyalty, empathy, respect, and sincerity. All these tell the heart and mind of a person. Number 1. Faith. What are their beliefs? This is the first thing to figure out as we are guided daily by our faith, whatever that may be. We must have a clear understanding of what a person stands for and believes as it will be played out in their actions.
GNT. John 4. 1. My dear friends, do not believe all who claim to have the Spirit, but test them to find out if the Spirit they have comes from God. For many false prophets have gone out everywhere. KJV. Romans 1:12. That is, that I may be comforted together with you by the mutual faith both of you and me. CB. Sirach 6:17. Those who fear the Lord will direct their friendships well, because they will associate with people of like mind.
Number 2. Honesty. Honesty lets you see each other without distortions. A sincere friend doesn't sugarcoat the truth, hide behind fake compliments, or spare your feelings. It's this transparency that builds a genuine relationship.
KJV, Proverbs 27. 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love. NLT, Proverbs 12:22. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. KJV, John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Number 3. Trustworthiness. Trust is the unspoken pact that is granted sometimes freely, but more than often we find that in truth it is earned. A friend will always be true and speak truth to you. They understand your deepest struggles and pain. Without trust, it's impossible to build a lasting connection.
NLT, John 15:12. This is my commandment, love each other in the same way I have loved you. NRSV, Additions to Esther, 16:5. And often many of those who are set in places of authority have been made in part responsible for the shedding of innocent blood, and have been involved in irremediable calamities by the persuasion of friends who have been entrusted with the administration of public affairs.
Number 4. Loyalty. Loyalty is being a friend in truth. This concept is unheard of in the world today. Loyalty is an allegiance between friends. But what about truth regarding friendship? God gave us standards He set from the beginning. We expect our friends to hold us accountable and responsible for our actions. This quality strengthens the bond and acts as a blanket of security. It's the glue that binds friends together.
To CB, John 15:13. No one has greater love than to give up one's life for one's friends. GNT, Sirach 29:15. If someone does this favor for you, don't forget it. He has risked his good name for you. GNT, Proverbs 17:17. Friends always show their love. What are relatives for if not to share trouble? GNT, Sirach 6:14-15. A loyal friend is like a safe shelter. Find one, and you have found a treasure. Nothing else is as valuable. There is no way of putting a price on it.
The class is in awe as they hear the understanding behind each quality and skill aligned with scriptures. The students listen attentively, occasionally nodding in agreement or jotting down notes.
Number 5, empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share a friend's feelings. It's putting yourself in their shoes and offering support. Empathetic friends can validate what you are feeling, offering a safe space to communicate. They're always there with love, truth, comforting words, hugs, and/or whatever it may be that you need to heal.
AMPC, Job 6:14. To him who is about to faint and despair, kindness is due from his friend, lest he forsake the fear of the Almighty. AMPC, Romans 12:15. Rejoice with those who rejoice, sharing others' joy, and weep with those who weep, sharing others' grief. GNT, Galatians 6:2. Help carry one another's burdens, and in this way you will obey the law of Christ.
Number 6, respect. What does respect mean? If we look at it in the context of the prefix and word, we see re means back, and spect means to look at, so look back at it. To respect is to treat people with reverence, decorum, and consideration. We must learn order and discipline to truly understand respect, where we see the true value of a person.
MEV, Romans 13:7. Render to all what is due them. Taxes to whom taxes are due, respect to whom respect is due, fear to whom fear is due, and honor to whom honor is due. GNT, Ecclesiasticus 22:20. You can lose all your self-respect by being reluctant to speak up in the presence of stupidity.
Number 7, sincerity. Sincerity is the gemstone in the crown of friendship. It comes from a genuine and heartfelt place. It reflects the authentic connection between friends. A sincere friend's words mirror their feelings, intent, and actions.
GNT, Proverbs 27. 6 friends mean well, even when they hurt you. But when an enemy puts his arm around your shoulder, watch out. KJV, Sirach 6:13. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. NLV, Proverbs 15:28. The mind of the one who is right with God thinks about how to answer, but the mouth of the sinful pours out sinful things. GNT, Acts 24:16. And so I do my best always to have a clear conscience before God and people.
Following Cheyana's presentation, the students had a lengthy conversation in which they exchange ideas and personal tales of friendship. With a sense of pride, Mr. Anderson observes how his pupils are starting to view friendship differently in their interactions with one another.
Let's move on. You can discover an individual's passions and actions by looking for common interests, a support network, dependability, flexibility, maintenance, and generosity. All of these traits will be reflected in a person's conduct. Keep in mind the saying, birds of a feather flock together. These are the kinds of matters that ought to be covered right away, and the deeds ought to correspond with the words. Hey, walk it like you talk it. Number 8. Common interests. They serve as the flame that ignites a connection since they bring people together and are fun and stimulating. Most friendships begin with interests and values.
KJV, Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? GNT. Sirach 6, 7. When you make friends, don't be too quick to trust them. Make sure that they have proved themselves. GNT. 1. Peter 3, 8. To conclude, you must all have the same attitude and the same feelings. Love one another, and be kind and humble with one another. CEB. Proverbs 13:20. Walk with wise people and become wise. Befriend fools and get in trouble.
Number 9. Support. A supporting friend is there to provide encouragement and strength, deepening the friendship, whether it's with motivation or a consoling shoulder during trying times.
GNT. Sirach 6:16. A loyal friend is like a medicine that keeps you in good health. Only those who fear the Lord can find such a friend. KJV. 1 Corinthians 12:26. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. GNT. Sirach 13:21. When a rich person stumbles, his friends will steady him, but if a poor person falls, his friends will have nothing to do with him.
Number 10. Dependability. This friend quietly ensures everything goes without saying. A dependable friend is your go-to person, always in the right place, at the right time. Consider them as your personal GPS or God-guiding principles navigation system in a friendship. They will show you the right way to comprehend life's reasons as they relate to our culture from a biblical perspective.
CEB. Proverbs 18:24. There are persons for companionship, but then there are friends who are more loyal than family. GNT. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 10. Two are better off than one because together they can work more effectively. If one of them falls down, the other can help him up. But if someone is alone and falls, it's just too bad, because there is no one to help him.
Number 11. Flexibility. The ability to adapt, knowing when to hold on, pause, or let go. Respecting one another's needs, space, and pace is significant and at times not considered. Friendships have a time, season, and purpose. And that's okay. Life is filled with lessons, simple and difficult. God requires us to experience life, and grow through what we go through.
KJV. Sirach 6:10. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction. GNT. Sirach 6:8. Some people will be your friends only when it is convenient for them, but they won't stand by you in trouble. GNT. Sirach 6. 9 others will fall out with you over some argument, and then embarrass you by letting everyone know about it. CEB. Sirach 6:12. If you are brought low, they will be against you, and they will abandon you.
Number 12. Maintenance. It takes work, experiencing highs and lows, getting to know the person, and building a strong foundation in righteousness. There will come a time when having painful conversations cause a pause, but friends pick up where they left off. It's not about always talking. Sometimes, we just need to recognize that life happens, and we as Israelite babes are learning, so be patient, give them grace.
Son NLT. Matthew 18:15. If another believer sins against you, go privately and point out the offense. If the other person listens and confesses it, you have won that person back. GNT. Luke 6:31. Do for others just what you want them to do for you.
Number 13. Generosity. This is not just about money but actions as well. Generosity isn't always about grand gestures, but little acts of kindness matter too, without expecting anything in return. It's showing, I care. That does not, in any way, permit you to exploit someone you call a friend.
KJV. 1. Peter 4, 8, 10. And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. CEB 1 John 3:17. But if someone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but refuses to help, how can the love of God dwell in a person like that?
Once more, the class is instructed to divide into small groups, but with new members, to discuss the second half of the presentation for 15 minutes. Mr. Anderson observes students compare notes and takes into account prior learning within the framework of the class.
The Bible speaks volumes about the last segment of qualities: encouragement, righteous correction, conversations, positive attitude, patience, good listener, and humor. This is the meat of the friendship as the relationship shows growth and blossoms. With time, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding we prove a friend. This ensures we get what we need to feed our spirit in righteousness, as iron sharpens iron. Number 14. Encouragement. The encouragement of a true friend is unmatched. Having a friend who is rooting for you and wants you to succeed means the world. It could be smooth words or correction needed, but in the end it's the cheer that says, "You've got this," when you need a little inspiration. Without encouragement we remain in a low state.
Webb. Hebrews 10:24, 25. Let's consider how to provoke one another to love and good works, not forsaking our own assembling together as the custom of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching.
Number 15. Righteous correction. A morally upright, discerning friend offers a secure environment for personal development and offers guidance and direction for the future. Genuine connection and openness are nurtured with this acceptance, creating opportunities for the growth of mental, physical, and emotional wellness.
KJV. John 7:24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. LT. Proverbs 19:27. If you stop listening to instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. KJV. Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. KJV. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Wherefore comfort yourselves together, and edify one another, even as also ye do. ESV. Proverbs 27:9. Oil and perfume make the heart glad, and the sweetness of a friend comes from his earnest counsel.
Number 16. Conversation. Sometimes friends will have to have tough conversations that are meaningful discussions, the hidden depths of a friendship. These are times when you can be completely honest about your hopes, worries, struggles, and objectives. These are the deeper, more intimate talks that go beyond the surface.
KJV. Colossians 4:6. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. NLV. 2 Corinthians 11:6. Even if it is hard for me to speak, I know what I'm talking about. You know this by now. GNT. Proverbs 12:18. Thoughtless words can wound as deeply as any sword, but wisely spoken words can heal. GNT. 2 Timothy 2:16. Keep away from profane and foolish discussions which only drive people farther away from God. KJV. Corinthians 15:33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. GNT. Ecclesiasticus 28:9. It is sinful to break up a friendship by creating hostility among people who get along well together.
Number 17. Positive attitude. In a friendship, maintaining an optimistic outlook is akin to having an angel on your side. It gives conversations vitality and turns everyday situations into educational ones. Positive friends make you feel better even in the worst of situations, but negative relationships will always lead to conflict.
NIV. Isaiah 12:3. With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation. NLV. Proverbs 16:28. A bad man spreads trouble. One who hurts people with bad talk separates good friends. NLV. Proverbs 22:24 through 26. Do not have anything to do with a man given to anger, or go with a man who has a bad temper, or you might learn his ways and get yourself into a trap. Do not be among those who make promises and put themselves up as trust for what others owe.
Number 18. Patience. Being patient involves being able to pause, consider situations, and formulate inquiries. Patience also requires that sometimes remaining silent helps get through the difficult times, heated debates, and challenging circumstances in a friendship.
NIV. Proverbs 14:29. He who is slow to get angry has great understanding, but he who has a quick temper makes his foolish way look right. NIV. Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. NIV. Romans 8:25. But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently.
Number 19. Good listener. Giving your full attention is a talent that most people lack, but it's essential to being a good listener. It all comes down to comprehending the other person. In both light-hearted banter and deep discussions, attentive listeners pay attention to get understanding.
NLT James 1:19. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. NLT Proverbs 17:28. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. With their mouths shut, they seem intelligent. NLT Proverbs 18:13. Spouting off before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish.
Number 20. Humor in a friendship. Laughter is like having your own personal stand-up comedian available whenever you need them. Friends that share laughter and inside jokes together, despite their differences in taste, tend to stick close. There is always humor to be found when it is required, even in our most trying times.
ESV, Ecclesiastes 3:4, a time to weep and a time to laugh. ESV, Psalm 32:11, be glad in the Lord, and rejoice, O righteous, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart. NLT, Proverbs 17:22, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit saps a person's strength. ESV, Proverbs 14:13, even in laughter the heart may ache, and the end of joy may be grief.
As segment 3 of the lesson closes, the students are asked again to compare notes and talk about the qualities their friend possesses. Joel and Cheyenne join Zip in front of the class to conclude the lesson. Zip ends the presentation saying,
We hope you find this lesson clarifies what friendship is to God. We identified warning signs to be aware of and appropriate dealings among friends. Again, thank you for attentively listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
The class stands, applauds, and cheers for the team.
Well done, everyone. It's inspiring for me as an educator to see you all exploring such profound concepts at your age. Friendship is one of life's greatest treasures, and understanding its true essence is invaluable.
The students clap and nod in agreement, feeling empowered by the knowledge they've gained.
Learning about friendship from the Bible not only enriches our lives but also guides us in building meaningful connections with others. It's a lesson that will stay with you long after you leave this classroom.
The bell rings, signaling the end of the lesson. As the students gather their belongings, Cheyenne, Joel, and Zip share smiles of satisfaction, knowing they've made a positive impact.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson, for believing in us and allowing us to share with the class. Now, we all know that friendship is so much more than just having fun. It has to have a sound moral foundation.
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Anderson, I also want to tell you I too appreciate you helping us to become young leaders of good things. The best part about it is everyone can benefit from all the information we are sharing.
Absolutely. And I have to say it again, Mr. Anderson, you are a treasure to have as a teacher. And I cherish the memories we are creating together as a team.
The students exchange nods and words of agreement before heading out of the classroom, carrying the lesson of true friendship with them.
Good News Translation. Sirach 27, 4 through 7. Your talk shows your faults. It is like a sieve that separates out the rubbish. The way you think shows your character just as surely as a kiln shows any flaws in the pottery being fired. You can tell how well a tree has been cared for by the fruit it bears. You can tell a person's feelings by the way he expresses himself. Never praise anyone before you hear him talk. That is the real test. New International Version, Proverbs 12:26. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray.
It is clear that our words, whether good or bad, reflect our true feelings. Today, we have dedicated some time to examine the different aspects of friendship. Above all, we must realize that this is the basis of any relationship, be it chosen, as in the case of our friendships, or unchosen, as in the case of our families, neighbors, colleagues, or classmates. The second thing to remember is that friendship choices have a big impact on people's lives. Therefore, they should be made carefully. Why? Because we are shaped by the individuals we spend our time with. We emulate our friends. Friendships can be among of the most rewarding and stressful relationships we have in life. However, it is worthwhile finding them. You know, the Bible is packed with wisdom, instruction, and situations related to friendship. It is argued that true friends never cease loving one another, since we now understand that the only way to love and be loved is to obey the laws of God. All you need to do is use your intelligence to build strong bonds with those you cherish.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please leave a comment below.